What up? This is Robert Horry.
Horry, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
What's up, Big Shot Bob? How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. What's going on with you guys?
You are back stateside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it is the Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. That's seven-time NBA champion, Robert Horry, who was in, where were you, Milan?
Milan, Italy. Mm-hmm.
Damn. Well, now, was this like just a fun trip, or did you have like business?
Oh, it was an NBA trip. I had junior NBA stuff. They had the finals. I went over there to help support and show a little love. Milan, I didn't get a chance to see much of Milan, but from what I did see, it was a pretty city. I didn't get to go shopping either. That's the messed up part.
So how long were you there?
I was only there 4 days. It was a short trip. It was a quick turnaround.
But in 4 days, you didn't have any time to like go do any kind of sightseeing or anything?
Well, we went sightseeing. We went to go see a castle, church, and all that kind of stuff. And then we came back home. We had like a 2-hour wait before we were supposed to go to like the fashion district. And of course, that 2 hours turned to like 8 hours. We fell asleep and missed it. Like we woke up like at 9:00 p.m. It was like, oh crap, yeah, it's closed.
Oops.
And then the next day we were just busy. But the good thing about that is you never change your time zone. So I'm still on LA time zone. So that's a good thing. No jet lag here.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get on a plane and you fly home. And your city's on fire. like,
let me just tell you about my day yesterday.
What is happening in Los Angeles right now?
Let's start. So first of all, we get on the plane. We're late taking off. The pilot said we're going to make up some time and get here. So we land in Chicago at a decent time. We land in Chicago at 7:00. And my flight is at, I think, like 8:00 or whatever. We sat on the tarmac for 45 minutes just because there was a plane parked at our gate. And so we finally get into our gate, and the flight says, no, you'll make it because the bags come out pretty fast. Why is it our two bags are the last one off? So we missed our flight.
Oh, no.
And then I will say this, then we get back. We had heard all the news. We get back to LA. We was like, oh, shit, where are we going to come back to? And, you hear about the National Guard being here and now the military is coming and all the protests and you hate it. It's all about peaceful protests. But the part I hate is when you start throwing stuff at the cops and you start, vandalizing stuff. And that's now this is the reason they're here because you're acting like this. And so you got to find a way to have peaceful protests. We're all about peaceful protests. You've been in Atlanta. That's the home of peaceful protests. And so you see this, and it's disheartening because you want what's right for all the immigrants that's here because this is what made America so great. The people can come over here and make a living, not because you're from it. You think about everybody in politics right now, immigrants. They all married to immigrants. If you're not a true American, meaning a Native American that was born here, we're all immigrants. And why is it because you're a white man, you can say you don't belong because your color of your skin or your race or religion. So it pisses me off, and I don't want to talk about it anymore, but it pisses me off that people want to, and think about it. They always want to say, well, these immigrants are raping and yeah, what about all these damn serial killers that we've had over the years? Like, what about all the other killers we had? It's not just one race that kills. Every race kills. And so don't just blame one race. And that is what pisses me off.
Well, I mean, I think for me, it's like, and I don't want to get political on this, but when protests go south, this is exactly like what you just said. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever message you have to say, the minute you start throwing rocks at cop cars, it's gone. Like, whatever you were out there to say, no one hears it now. All they see is people throwing rocks at cop cars and lighting Waymos on fire. You know what I mean? Like, that's all they see now. So it's like, whatever you had to, like, if you have something to say it peacefully and find ways to do it peacefully. But if it's going to turn into what it's been, there's no message there.
Yes. And I also want to add to that, like, to me, if you covering your face up, that means you're there to do something wrong.
Hell yes.
Because now you hiding your identity and you up to no good. So anybody there, like if you're there for a peaceful protest and you see someone covered up, pull their mace, pull their scarf down. Let's see your face.
No,
because now you don't want that because you know you're up to no good.
I don't want to be on the internet throwing bricks at cars. No, I got to cover my face.
You know, and it's just and then you know, we want to talk about politics. And you think about what happened when when they stormed the Capitol and everybody had their faces out, but you know, even though they're free now, but it's just if you're gonna raid and do that stuff, own up to it. Show your face.
Own up to it. There you go.
Yeah, own up to it.
There's the message of peace. Just own up to it. All right. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot going on. What of the finals did you get to watch? Did you get to watch any of these games while you were over there?
Yeah, I watched.
You watched them both.
I watched both the games. Yes.
Okay.
And it was so weird. Like, game one was good. Game two was like, you can see one team was like this. We already got home court advantage. So we're just gonna relax a little bit, chillax, So, but it's been a good series. I think people are gonna be shocked at how good this series, and it goes to show you how good both teams are. Even though we don't like to talk about them because they're small marks, but both teams are really good.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that OKC was gonna come out the way that they did. They had to.
In game
the way that they lost in game one, I think they have a 10 or 15 point lead in the fourth quarter.
I think that's right.
So not only losing that lead, but losing that lead at home, I think that it kind of charged them up a bit to realize that we let one slip away, and there's no way in the world we let you get one. We're not gonna let you get both these on our floor. And they came out and did what they were supposed to do and closed it out the way they were supposed to be in game two. And like you said, Indiana looked at it like, I guess not saying they didn't play well, or play hard. It's just, hey, we got our one. We stole back home.
I think they didn't come in that with a sense of urgency in the first half because they played better in the second half than they did the first half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think everybody was just stunned at the way game one ended. Like, how do you have another Halliburton game-winning moment at the end of that game? I mean, the Pacers are like the comeback team of the century. No lead is safe when you're against them. They find ways to get back in that game. The Thunder led game one for 46 minutes and 25 seconds. The Pacers led game one for 0.3 seconds. And got out of there with a win. They didn't have a lead the whole game until the very last shot of the game.
Well, in game one, when you commit 24 turnovers, and you're OKC and you can only get 11 points off those turnovers, that's a recipe for disaster because you're not taking advantage of the turnovers. So Indiana's like, we can turn the ball over all day if you're not going to capitalize on our mistakes. So, and that's really the story of game one.
Yeah, I mean, the teams were 0 and 182 when trailing by 9+ points in the final 3 minutes of an NBA game since 1971. So if you're trailing by 9 points in the final 3 minutes, no team's ever won until Indiana did it. So I love that's just a fun story.
The one thing is when you watching that game, I'm sitting there like, why does he keep shooting this? Talking about Toppin.
Okay.
And all of a sudden he hit those 3 threes in the second half, and they get to rolling, and then everybody's knocking down threes. I'm like, oh, maybe that's why he's shooting, because that dude could be clutch. I have become, at first, I when I watch Toppin, he's like the most athletic dude ever. But when he starts just selling for threes, because he's too athletic not to put it on the floor. If he can get to like 1 foot outside the paint, he's dunking on everybody. But he kind of just wants to shoot the three now, and that's where the game is taken. Because think about what he used to do in college. I'm like, oh my goodness, what he used to do in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, but to me, when you look at him in game one, he was kind of the guy who kind of spurred him. Siakam's still doing his thing, but everybody always look at the last shot that Halliburton made. He hadn't been playing that well in this series at all. But he's been facilitating and trying to get assists and stuff. But I need him. We talked about this on the last show. Him to be a little bit more aggressive and take it a little bit more serious. When he's aggressive and he can get to the paint, that ugly ass shit go in. It sparks them, man. And so he needs to find a way to come out and be aggressive, because if he doesn't, man, and be in that little relaxed mode, They ain't got a chance. They gonna do like us when I was with the Lakers. We might have lost game 1 to the Sixers. We kicked your ass 4 straight after that.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
You know, they're gonna have to play up.
That's true. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has scored 72 points through his first 2 games of his NBA Finals debut. That's the most points ever by a player in his first 2 NBA Finals games. He passed Allen Iverson, who had 71 for the record. Were you just talking about Philly? So there you go. The season he's had is just nuts when you really step back and look at it, the MVP year. Kobe-esque numbers in a way, because it's 32.7 points per game. He led the league. He won the MVP. He's the Western Conference Finals MVP. 72 straight games with 20-plus points, and he's 4 wins away. Actually, 3 wins away now from a ring. No one's done the scoring title and championship combo in the same season since Shaq did it. So he's having one of those seasons, man. Like, we talked about him as MVP, but when you really step back and look at this year, you just go, damn. And he's doing it on the big stage, too. I mean, he's showing up, even though they like I said, they dropped game 1 on a fluke, but they showed you game 2, exactly who they are and exactly what they can do.
Yeah, you know, it's you know, you don't really watch, well, me, I should say, I don't really watch OKC that much. But now when I'm watching him, I'm like, okay, I see why he got MVP. And the way he scores, I love it because it's not like, you know, you just take James Harden, for instance, how James shot a lot of threes. You know, his game is so smooth. His 3-ball game is not his game. His getting to the paint, his mid-range, and doing all that stuff kind of sets up his 3, because now you think he's going to get to his sweet spot. He ain't going to know he's going to pull up and shoot that 3. And that, to me, you know, you talk about his game and who he watched. If that's not Kobe's game, you know, with a little bit of Paul's game in it, it's like the two kind of mixed together, that smoothness, you know, kind of getting to your spot and pulling up. And we always talk about kids want to emulate, you know, Steph Curry, LeBron James. To me, this is one of those guys you can emulate, because it's not about the 3-ball. How many threes did he shoot last game? I think it was like 5, if that.
I don't even know. I would have to look it up.
He shot. I'm sorry, he was 1 for 4. He was 1 for 4 from 3.
There you go.
Yeah, he doesn't take many.
But yeah, he had 34 points. Wow. And it goes to show you that, and it goes to show you everybody who says the 3-game is the way to win. It's not. It's about getting buckets. And Shai Gilgeous is a dude that can manufacture buckets any way he can. And that's what and he's been playing phenomenal.
Yeah, and he, you know, one thing you know he'll do is get to the line. You know, he's mastered his ability in getting to the line. We know a lot of people talk about, or, you know, have found issue with it. But look, if you can get to the line, you can get to the line. Do I like every call? No, but Shai is the MVP. And when you get that piece of, that piece of hardware, it not only is something that goes down in the history books and people remember, it is a new level that you move into when you start talking about specific calls. And whether we want to believe it or not, you know, there is such thing as a superstar call. And there's
it's a lot of those.
Yeah. So you know, he's gonna get those calls, especially at home. So, you know, his ability to get to the line, to draw fouls, you know, to get to the line, knock down his free throws. That's where a lot of his points, you know, are going to come from.
11 points last game.
Yeah. So you know, it's tough to play. It's tough to play defense on him, but the man is on a tear, and he's going to have to bring this out on the road too, because Indiana's a tough place to play, as we've seen. And this Indiana Pacers team they are not backing down. You know, one thing I will say, and this is what prevents somebody like Halliburton, you know, kind of from moving to the next level. You know, he did what he did in game 1, but then I understand that they lost the game in game 2, but you can't have that kind of game in game 2.
The first half.
Yeah, like
his first half sucked.
Yeah, it was rough.
I don't think he had a gret game 1, really.
Well,
no, he didn't have a great game 1.
But he had a better game when he did a game 2, though.
Yeah.
Game two was not that wasn't a good game for
he had a lot of turnovers too. Yeah,
I think he had 5, which is not that bad. But I think it's the most that he's had in the playoffs thus far. Right, but what I'm saying is that's the most that for a guy that handles the ball as much as he does.
Yeah.
And for that to be the most that he's had in the playoffs, that's not that bad. Because we've seen guys 8 assists, 7 turnovers. We're like, whoa. Buddy can't keep the ball out of the other team's hand. So I'm saying, so he's done pretty well with taking care of the ball outside of game 2.
Okay, game 1, he was 6 for 13 for 14 points.
Okay.
2 for 7 from 3.
And what was he in game 2?
Let's go look. Game 2, Halliburton. I got to pull the box score.
Because I don't think he was much better.
He was.
had
No, he
an
really
awful
wasn't.
first
He
half.
was 3 for 8, 17 points. 3 for 8 from 3, I should say. 7 for 13 from the floor. Played 34 minutes.
They're going to need
And all
him.
those points were scored in the second half. I think he
a lot
had
of them
0
were.
points. Yeah.
They're gonna-
He was second half points.
They're going to need him now he's going home, and they're going to get their home cooking. In one of them games, they're going to need him to go 30, 10, and 10. That's one of them games they're going to need from him. That's one of them games they're going to need from him. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't.
I think opposite of that. I think he need like 20 and like 15 assists, because when he's getting everybody involved, that's when Indiana, they're really dangerous. For me, if they're going to win, the 30-point guy has to be Siakam.
Okay.
Well,
Because you look at every time he scores 30, they pretty much dominate games. Think of what he did to the Knicks quietly, and people forgetting and wondering why he won the MVP, because he was smoking them.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
but I do, if he gets 20 though, or 30, 20, 10 and 10, if he gets a triple dub and they don't win, that means someone got hurt.
All right. How do you guys see them playing on their home floor? Game 3 tomorrow night.
Oh, I see them playing great.
I see them playing great too. I see them winning by 10.
You really think that? Okay.
I got India. If I had money to lose, I go bet 100 on Indiana to win game 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think game 3's, this is going to sound stupid. I think game 3's very pivotal for the series. Because if Indiana comes out and lays an egg at home in game 3 and OKC goes up 2-1, you have a feeling the Thunder are going to start to feel just going to lean on them a little heavier then. You know what I mean? Because then game 4 is a must win, really. You don't want to go back to OKC down 3-1. So I feel like if you're the Pacers, you kind of have to win game 3.
Yeah, you do. So I'm going to ask you guys this. How do you feel about how the series is set up? Do you prefer the old way, 2-3-2, or you like the 2-2-1-1-1?
I don't have a problem with the 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like it that way.
I don't
just like. I mean, how does it from a player's perspective? Is the travel's got to suck?
Well, for me, I think I've only been 2-3-2, but as a player, I would prefer to do 2-3-2, depending on where your location are. Think about LA and Boston. That's probably why they went to that format, because that's a lot of damn travel.
Yeah, it sure is.
And to me, you think about. I'm kind of like want to be kind of cheapo too, because think about how much money you got to pay for planes going back and forth. Like, dude, I'm already in the city. Let me stay in the city, and then you got to go back. You got to come back. You got to go back. But to me, I like the 2-3-2 format, because it this way kind of if you think about it, it's kind of if you have the home court advantage, and and now it gives the away team kind of the home court advantage back. Even if let's say you go down 2-0, you say, I can go home and win 3, and anything is possible. So I kind of like that format, 2-3-2.
Yeah, and it puts a lot of pressure on the team that has the home court advantage
That's
first.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
It puts them a lot of pressure. You got to win both those games.
Got to win them both.
Yeah.
Because to go on the road 1-1, when you got to go on the opposing team for 3 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's now.
I like the 2-1-1-1. Just because if you get that far and you force a game 6 and a game 7, I get the swing of, okay, now you go home and now you go home. You know what I mean? Somebody gets that game 7 on their home turf. I don't dislike that. I think that's fun. I get your point on 2-3-2 though. But I don't know. I don't dislike the 2-2-1-1-1. I think it's fun.
I go either way.
Yeah, a couple of things here. Yeah, well, easy now.
I did that for Harp's sake.
I do. Go either way. All right, a couple quick notes here about the finals too. Alex Caruso. We'll love Alex Caruso, man. Didn't drop 20 all season. He's done it twice in the postseason. He's been a nice little glue piece for OKC,
that
man.
motherfucker ain't passing up a shot. I ain't never seen someone be that aggressive. He taking every shot. He doing what he wants.
And I think it's because nobody's got eyes on him. And he's just coming out there and he's like, all right, you're going to give me some looks, I'm going to take them.
But that's how he was in the regular season.
Yeah. But, I mean, he didn't have a 20-point game all regular season. He's dropped 2 in the postseason.
Yeah.
So he's it's just a nice little it's nice when you have a piece like that shows up in those kind of spots in the postseason. Did you ever have a guy like that on any of your teams, Rob, who's just like one of those dudes that was like, oh, postseason time, he's going to show up and throw us a game when we need one? And it's you. I know it's you. I know it's you. That's okay. That's fine. It's you.
I was about to answer, but I wanted Rob to answer.
Oh, I got the double bird for that one. Shit. All right, my man.
How did they do it?
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Exactly.
You know what's weird about that?
But that's it. Hold on though, because you had your postseason moments, but I thought you had your regular season moments too. You had plenty of them.
I just think it's
you
more.
You just had your biggest
more.
moments on the biggest stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just magnified more because a lot more eyes on you. But it's so weird. I tell people all the time, it's just shit. If they'd have used me during the regular season, we probably wouldn't had a better record. We had to be in positions like this. I never got my nickname. Shit.
I do have a question. I think you may have posted it. The clip where you're with the Spurs and they kick it to you, you pump fake. I think you got Tayshaun Prince in the air, and then you drive to the basket for the dunk. I forget who you dunked on.
Rip Hamilton.
Did you dislocate your shoulder?
No, I have a really bad left shoulder.
Okay.
And it's a certain way. If I extend it the wrong way, it's like a stinger.
Okay.
And so I extended it too much because, it's like the little engine that could. I think I can. I thought I was going to get to the hole. And, of course, I barely got that dunk to go. It wasn't even I wouldn't even count. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't even count that as a dunk. Because you ain't pulling the rim down. So, and when I overextended, and then my arm just kind of did that thing. And and did you see I almost airballed that free throw?
Yeah. But when I also saw after the dunk, you were favoring it and it was leaning. I was like, I'm like, dang, did he dislocate his shoulder?
Mm-mm. No, it was I have a bad left shoulder. That's the reason I don't play golf. I can't. This is for most people can lift their arm like this.
Yeah.
This arm is as far as I can go. I have to push it up. Like that hurts.
So surgery
that's
never.
why I don't play golf.
Surgery never.
No, it's like the doctor said you can have surgery to clean it up, but there's no guarantee you're gonna have the mobility. It's the weirdest thing. I can do this all day if I'm shooting a basket and do this, but I can't come across my body.
Okay.
So.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Very weird. To your point about small market teams, Rob, Game 1 only averaged about 8.91 million viewers. It's the least watched finals opener since Nielsen began tracking in 1988.
Jeez.
So, I mean, look, it clicked up to, I think, about 11 million viewers when it got late in the game and Halliburton had the big moment. So it got up there, but I think it's just slow out of the gates. But I think, hopefully games 3 and 4.
How was Game 2, though?
I didn't see the Game 2 numbers.
But you know what, Rob? This is the moment. These are the finals for, like, diehard basketball fans. Like, people who really like basketball. And, like, you have those moments throughout history when you have your big teams and your juggernauts where everybody wants to watch because at least one person on the team. There's one megastar somewhere that everybody wants to see. But this series right here is for people who really love hoops. I understand that the ratings ain't the greatest, and sorry, NBA, we'll buy you some Kleenex and y'all gonna cry a river. But
it's down, by the way.
Yeah, I think this is just a
down
series.
from Game 1.
Like,
seriously?
Yeah. 8.76 million viewers was the average on ABC. So it's down from that. It's the lowest number since the bubble playoffs. 6.78 million watched the Lakers in the bubble.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it went down. It ticked down. But I think you're right, Harp.
It's just a series.
I think if you're a fan of basketball and you're not there for the, and I'm not going to say you're not there for the flash because these teams have that, but they don't have the biggest names. I mean,
they're not big
aside
markets.
From Shea and Halliburton and some of these guys, but it's like they're not the Brons, they're not the Stephs. You know what I mean? They're not the Tatums. That
Let me ask you this now: is this the NBA's fault? Is it the small market's fault? Because you think about. Let's take Tim Duncan, for instance. Mm-hmm. He was in a small market, right?
He was.
Everybody in the world knew who he was. So, and then they didn't, and the NBA didn't promote him. Mm-hmm. Was it his talent that shot him up to that, or was it the Spurs winning? And on the other side of that is, this is what I get mad about the NBA sometimes. When you watch commercials, they always highlight the same freaking dudes. Okay, you don't need to keep highlighting LeBron, KD, and Steph. Start highlighting Halliburton, Siakam, all these guys like this, because now you're putting their face front and center, not the same 10 guys. It's like when you listen to the radio, you hear the same freaking songs all the damn time.
But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for it, though. But
now you're showing these guys, and now it's this discredit to all the other players that can freaking play. Yeah, my name ain't LeBron James, but shit, LeBron averages the same thing I average. And so why am I getting the face out there? Help me, help the league. And so I think sometimes the league need to promote more of these players that are out there, like a Halliburton, like a Siakam, even like the Jalen Williams and, Caruso's and the guys on that team. Help promote them to help the league, because Steph don't need you to help promote him no more. LeBron doesn't either.
No, but
Luka.
But even though they don't need the help, they play in the NBA, and it's of the best interest of the league as a whole and the fan base of the league as a whole to continue to promote those guys, because that's what sells the tickets. That's what makes them money.
But no, it's the ratings and it's the commercials and that sell the tickets.
But who's the rating?
But now look at the viewingship now though. You costing yourself money because these guys that you didn't promote now are in the finals. Well, and think about it, everybody that you're promoting probably ain't never going to the finals again.
To Adam Silver's credit, he didn't want either of these teams in the finals. So you know what I mean. He's gonna promote the guys that sell tickets. But to your theory about the radio, there's a reason they play the same 10 songs. Those are the songs people want to hear. And even though that's not the songs everyone wants to hear, it's the mass majority. They market to the mass. They don't market to the fan of the music. If you're a fan of rock music, you probably don't listen to rock radio because they play the same damn 10 to 15 songs. You have your own little playlist and you're on Spotify or Apple, wherever the hell you are, and you listen to the stuff that you like. If you're an NBA fan, you don't really care. You don't pay attention that much to the marketing. You're going to watch basketball anyway you cut it. So it's easy for us to look at it and go, oh yeah, they should promote guys like Halliburton more. They should promote guys like Shea a little bit more. And to the masses, again, my daughter knows who LeBron James is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, they're gonna try and get some younger viewers and maybe.
This is what I need you guys to do now. I need you guys to go over to NBA TV, and we need to have our own segment where we travel and do shows on all the guys who are not top tier guys and help promote them. We're going to call this show Making the Next Big Shot. And that's what we're going to do.
All right, well, pitch it, man. You got contacts at NBA TV. What are you looking at us for? Jesus Christ. One of us played in the NBA, and it ain't us, okay? I'm just saying. Next time you're in Atlanta, we catch a meeting with NBA TV.
One of us has the contacts.
Yeah, we put this thing together.
His name is Brandon Harper.
Oh, nah, brother. Sorry. There must be two of them in this Zoom chat, because it ain't me.
One of them work over at Turner?
Yeah,
I guess.
It ain't me.
It ain't happening here.
But you know what's weird though? I'm the type of person you always wanted whatever's platform is that you will have these platforms that will not just in basketball. I'm talking about all around that really highlight the good that these athletes do off the court or off the field or whatever it may be.
Right.
Because we always want to, as soon as they mess up, that's all we're going to talk about. And it might be just a smidgen of a mess up, but when they do 50 million great things we never talk about, that's one of the things that I wish that, I know it's not sexy enough or it's not, whatever it may be. I just feel like sometimes there need to be a platform to highlight these things. And, because now you see some kid that's watching this that might be influenced by this, that might want to help out of his community. We just talked about, I think a couple of weeks ago, the one big shot on the show is like, think about who influenced him to do what he did. So right. I always feel like there should be some type of platform, but it ain't sexy enough. Not enough.
I will say this. I think some guys have to start looking at if they want to be pushed more to the forefront, of being images or faces of the league, and they want more people to know who they are. Sometimes I think you got to take a different approach and a different route. I kind of look at it from an NIL standpoint. You have guys on the field who everything is going to come to them because of their name and what they do on the field. There's just some guys like that. Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, because he has the Sanders name, but also because of what he does on the field as well. But there are other guys who there are other things about them that made them interesting that allowed them to gain a fan base. And it had nothing to do with what they did on the field or on the court. But because they were able to kind of promote what made them different and things that a lot of people didn't know about, now you've garnered a new fan base. So now that fan base who never watched basketball, when they realize that you play ball, now when you hit the floor, you're going to have more people tune in because of the thing that they found of common interest that you did that a lot of people never thought you would do. And so I think some of these guys have to start promoting themselves in a way like they are part of, like this is an NIL, like you're in college in a sense. Because everything is not going to be about what you do on the floor first for some of them. Sometimes it's going to take other things for people to recognize. Then when they see you play, it's like, oh, he's really good. So not only do you have them hooked based off some of your other things that you do, you now have them hooked on the fact that you're a really good basketball player. So you have to take a different route because everybody ain't going to be LeBron. Everybody ain't going to be the chosen one since he was 13 years old, Yeah. You just got to find a different route. Everybody's route is different. So I think some of those guys got to become more vocal. They have to show off their interest more and garner a bigger fan base so that other people, so you can bring people into your world because you kind of went into theirs.
I like the idea of doing like a big shot of the week type of a show, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like taking that to a bigger platform. And I'm looking forward to you pitching it on our behalf.
Yes, sir.
The last thing,
but here's the thing: is your wife gonna allow you to travel? Is my wife gonna allow me to travel?
Travel where?
Is
like
Brandon,
going around?
Brandon's not married, so he can go.
He can go wherever the hell he wants. His ass could leave right now. He ain't got no one to answer to.
When there are funds behind the fund, your wives ain't gonna tell you no.
No, they'll be fine.
If the number's right, they're gonna tell you to get the hell on.
Yeah.
What you still sitting here for?
Yeah, you can go make money and you're still sitting here.
Right.
Freaking ass out on the road and cash me a check.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The wives want to know about the women.
Outside.
The women want to know about the funds. So do I. So do we. We want to know about the funds. Once the funds are there, we'll go.
Yeah, we need. You know what? I'm pitching that. Big shot of the week. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like to be able to focus on those guys. To your point too, I think there's some merit too in focusing on guys in the league who aren't the stars of the game, not just for the stuff they do off the court, but for their journey. Like I find, personally, as a sports fan, I love hearing about guys' stories.
Yeah.
Like how they got to where they came from, what it took to get to where they are. I think that stuff's cool. And I think if you're an NBA fan, if you're somebody like NBA TV, hint, hint, knock, knock, Turner, there's value in that. There really is, like doing an NBA spotlight kind of thing.
Hint, Turner, NBA TV, since you lost
Since
one
you ain't got
thing,
nothing else to do now.
We know the big entity that has been lost. It's, you might need some other programming.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying,
Okay. The last thing I want to talk about with the finals, and we get some other stuff to get to. Did anybody else find it weird with the digitally imposed Larry O'Brien trophy on the floor?
Hated it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, why did we stop putting the Larry O on the floor? When did
Rob,
that
you
stop?
said you hated it?
I hated it.
Really?
You hated
The
the
little
digitally
image that
imposed
just
one?
kind of floats there. No, I hate it. I want you to go back to where you put the
Put
big
it
ass
on the
trophy
floor.
That's the one I'm talking about. I like the
Yes.
big one.
Yes.
That's the one I'm talking about. You just see the little small one at
The
the top
digital
that
one?
looked like it was doing this, like it was moving and gyrating and vibrating and all that.
Yeah.
kind
And
of
it's like clip art. It's not even like a clean picture. It's like a pixelated little Larry O that they threw down there.
Yeah,
I just
It's like it was an afterthought. Like, oh shit, we didn't do the trophy. I'll
Oops.
just digitally impose it.
When did they stop doing that?
I don't know. I don't even remember. They did it
remember.
like a couple of years, and it was really cool when they did that. And then they didn't do it.
If that's an afterthought, somebody needs to be fired.
Yeah, because I loved the home court, center court with the logo and the big Larry O right in the middle. Like, dude, that was...
That's the whole point
That's
of
the
this
whole thing,
is
man.
to play for the trophy.
Yeah.
You forgot to put the trophy
And then they're like,
on
oops.
the floor.
Someone got like you got a picture on your phone? All right, good. Copy that over. Go ahead and put that out on the court. We'll just digitally impose it.
I know y'all got money. Yeah, don't tell me it wasn't in the
You gotta do
budget.
better
I know
than
you
that.
got bread.
You
Y'all
gotta
the
do better than
NBA.
that. I mean, you gotta dig into your wallet and just go
What's up, motherfuckers?
and just get it out there.
Hey, come on now.
What are you doing, dude?
Because I would see a lot of images of
because that looked like complete crap.
yeah.
It was a complete crap. Where's the Where is he? He's up here somewhere.
It's a complete crap.
That's what I say.
I can't tell you how many images I've seen of Kobe, and it's like an overhead image of Kobe
with
with
the
the big
Larry
truck.
O.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it says finals or whatever logo
Yep.
across it. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. What
What's
happened?
special?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you play for. Like, I mean, make a big deal out of it. This is your showcase event. Make a big deal out of it.
Sometimes for things to get better, you got to go back to things that used to work. Sometimes the answer that you have is just going back.
You're
you have
fixing
to,
stuff that isn't broken.
yeah,
You
some
know?
things
Yeah.
don't need to be fixed.
Yeah. I do want to briefly touch on the Durant and Giannis trade rumors, just because this morning I heard, I think it was Windhorst or somebody going, everybody can talk about the Giannis trade rumor all they want. He doesn't seem like he hasn't asked for a trade. The Bucks have shown no interest in wanting to trade him. So y'all go ahead and keep just yammering around about all the places you think Giannis is going to go, because nobody's really expressed any interest outside of the fact that he said once he wouldn't mind looking somewhere else. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Giannis go anywhere. The Durant thing, though, oh my God,
Yeah.
like everywhere. I mean, everybody's going, hey, he's going to get moved. People are saying San Antonio deal might be done behind closed doors. I've also seen people saying that New York is a big option for him, that the Knicks are big time serious about trying to get Kevin Durant.
Hey, San Antonio might need him. Have y'all seen Wimble lately?
No, I haven't. I saw him at the Great Wall of China this week.
Is he a monk now?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if he's shooting a TV show or he's shooting a movie or something.
I don't know what he's doing.
But he done shaved his head and he was in monk garb. And I'm
I
like,
didn't see that. No, I saw him
so
at
I'm
the Great Wall of China walking around, but I didn't notice the monk.
So I'm like trying to figure out, is he quitting basketball? What's he
He
doing?
just
He's
started.
not quitting basketball.
No.
Bro. Come on now.
He won the
crazy
trophy for
things
most
have been
blocks this year, and he played half
done.
the season.
Yeah.
Do you
So,
know?
yeah, it's-
do you know what would happen if he was to announce he was quitting basketball? Do you know what would happen?
Nothing.
No, well, he ain't got paid. He ain't got
Michael
paid
Jordan,
yet.
He walking away from
It ain't.
No, I
basketball.
know, but I mean, he's the young, up and coming guy. I mean, like he's got some big contracts ahead of him. Why would you walk from that?
Let's keep it on the local level, Rob. Let's just
Okay.
look at San Antonio. All them little sold out season tickets, they're gonna be selling them on the corner. You wouldn't.
And they don't want their money back.
You know how you say. Have you ever seen that that clip on Instagram where there was like 2 tickets left on the seat, and then somebody breaks in and leaves 3 more tickets?
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be like in San
Like when
Antonio.
someone breaks a car window and then
You ain't gonna have folks stealing tickets. You gonna have folks dropping tickets off. Hey, I heard you need 4 more. There they are. Because what be the point?
Hey, man, hey, people have done stranger things, man.
They have.
Oh, that'll send Adam
happen.
Silver have a heart attack. No, that's not what we're looking for. But he would go crazy.
Yeah.
The Knicks are putting together what's called a tsunami type offer for Giannis, even though that may not even come up. They've asked Dallas for permission to speak with Jason Kidd.
Didn't the kid coach in Milwaukee for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got a relationship
go.
with Giannis. So if they bring Jason Kidd over to coach the Knicks, I don't know if that really does anything or not. Let me give you Stephen A's top 5 destinations because I think they're hilariously stupid. Kevin Durant's is actually legit though. Kevin Durant's number 5, the Heat. Number 4, the Pistons. Number 3, the Timberwolves. Number 2, the Rockets. Number 1, the Knicks. Okay, I could see the.
One of them makes an abundant amount of sense.
Yes.
And that's the Timberwolves.
Two of them do.
I think the Timbs make a lot of sense.
Okay, and I think the Rockets do.
Yeah.
Notice San Antonio not on this list, and that's the one that I've seen pop up everywhere. For Giannis, here, ready? This is his top 5 destinations for Giannis. Number 5, the Celtics. No fucking way. The Celtics don't have the money to pay Giannis, and if they do, they're going to
Well,
trade
they have the
away
money to trade, though.
Yeah,
They
they
got the
do.
highest
But they
payroll.
would have trade away like, oh my god, a
He can
game.
definitely trade.
Number 4, the Heat. Okay, I don't know what the hell Milwaukee would want back from Miami for that, but number 3, the Mavericks. Number 2, the Rockets. Number 1, the Knicks. Again, he's got the Knicks
see-
top contender for both these guys.
Mavericks, I said negative to Mavericks. I see KD more with the Mavericks than that.
Okay.
You know?
I don't. It's hard for me to see a scenario where either of these guys end up in New York.
Yeah.
I think
No, that's just Stephen A. love for the Knicks.
That's
Want his
just
team to be
Stephen A.
better.
Yeah, it's just
Nobody
Stephen
want
A.
to play
the
for the
Knicks fan.
damn Knicks, man.
Ain't no way
Shit.
I really think KD. I think him in Minnesota would be a pretty good move. I think what you do is you team him up with Ant-Man. Who Ant-Man already loves.
Oh, he loves KD.
And I think when you put him right next to him, you help Ant-Man grow and continue to develop and continue to develop that alpha dog in him. I think bringing in somebody like KD really escalates that and takes it to another level a lot quicker than what we think.
I think also that I like that, but I like Dallas better for KD. Just for the simple fact that Dallas, until Kyrie gets back, KD can really carry that team. Because KD ain't, even with Devin Booker being the big dog on that team, KD still was a very instrumental part about, handling the ball and taking the shots. I don't see that in Minnesota because Ant-Man is kind of selfish with the ball. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like he has to dribble, penetrate, and do all this kind of stuff. And I don't. And then they keep Naz Reid. I think that kind of affects them too. There's a lot of parts over there that kind of affects, because I just think it'd be a smoother transition for Dallas because Dallas doesn't have that many superstars or that guys that are like very instrumental. Because think about Clay has already played with KD. AD can play with anybody. And then when Kyrie comes back, Kyrie can take a seat back if he comes back at all. So I just think that would be a better fit. And then I think, it's just do you win? Which team wins more and wins faster? Even though Minnesota's been to the Western Conference Finals, I just think if they stay healthy, and that's the biggest fucking if on the world, that the Dallas fit would be better for like winning.
Okay. Well, you brought up Booker. I want to give you, and I didn't even realize this, the craziest stat I saw this week had to do with Devin Booker. So Devin Booker, obviously the Suns are going to have a new head coach this year. This will be Booker's 8th head coach in 11 seasons. He's played 11 seasons in the league. This will be his 8th head coach.
Damn.
He had Jordan Ott, which is going to be the new head coach now, Budenholzer before that, Vogel, Monty Williams, Koskov, Igor Koskov, Jay Triano. I don't know. He was there for a year. Earl Watson and Jeff Hornacek.
Well, what Earl and Jeff like interim coaches because they fired someone?
I think so. Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah,
but still, that's 8 head coaches.
If I'm Devin Booker, I'm going to say, yo, man, I need some stability in this bullshit.
Come on,
I need some stability.
And that's my question though. Is like if you're a player and your head coach is changing that often.
Yeah.
Does every head coach, I would imagine, wants to bring in their own system, wants to bring in their own plays, and then you're having to kind of relearn what coaches want and expect from you in any kind of given offensive set. That's got to mess with you as a player.
Yeah. I think the smartest thing for a coach to do nowadays is like if I'm being the head coach, I'm like, hey, we're going to do a Zoom. Me, you, Book, and I'm saying, listen, this is the kind of offense I want to run.
Right.
Let me know if this works for you. And this is what my thought process behind it, because there's so many coaches out there that say, "Oh, I'm bringing in offense A," and offense A doesn't work with players B, C, and D. And so you would love to just have a sit. I don't know if coaches do this. They might. I've never had a coach to do it, but you come in, you sit down, and say, "Okay, this is how I see you making this offense work. So you tell me what you think about it." And to be honest, if you think it's complete crap, tell me. Or you want to come in here and say, okay, let's try this thing. So that, to me, that's the biggest thing for coaches nowadays to do. You got to talk to your top 3 dogs on the team. Say, hey, let's talk about this offense. Let's talk about this defense. What you think will work with us and the talent? Because you know the talent better because you be with them during the summertime. You play with them through a full season. I haven't.
Yeah.
True. All right, one more story, and then we're going to do Big Shot of the Week, and then we get a new game called 3-Ball, which I think you guys are going to like. It's got a little bit of a rapid-fire type thing to it, but you'll like it. The only thing on the plate this week that I had to bring up that we haven't talked about yet was the All-Star Game suggestion from Adam Silver this week.
Oh, the world versus...
That it would be Team USA versus Team World. That's kind of where he's headed. I'm not exactly sure what the format will be yet, but they paid a lot of attention to what the NHL did during its All-Star break this season. And he's saying, what better time to feature some form of USA versus the world when NBC is in the midst of the Winter Olympics? Thoughts on Team USA versus Team World
I got some thoughts.
as the new All-Star?
You go ahead, Hart. Let me hear your thoughts.
Man, that Team World gonna blow them boys out. And no disrespect to the U.S. because I'm maybe missing some names or forgetting some people. But when we take LeBron out, take Steph out, take KD, like I'm taking those guys out not because they don't play, but they're not going to be around much longer, depending on how long you want to continue this format. So let's say you continue this format for so many years.
They can't keep a format for 1 year. What do you mean so many years?
Right, but what I'm saying is like, I guess I'm not looking at this as just a 1 year thing. I guess I'm looking at it, for a couple of years down the line, even though, yes, we do know that the NBA can't make up their mind. I just look at the world from a standpoint, you look at like the MVPs. Like you talking about Jokic, you talking about
Luka.
SGA, you talking about Luka, you talking about Giannis.
Yeah.
You talking about all of these dudes, because a lot of these dudes from Canada.
Yeah.
So forget, Greece and all these other places. A lot of these dudes from the, north of the border. So we know what Team Canada looked like in the what was that, the World Cup? I mean the gold medal, the Olympics.
The Olympics.
Come on.
Yeah, a lot of French guys. I mean, yeah, you got.
I'm not feeling too good about the U.S.
Okay.
Now I know you got Ant-Man and Jason Tatum. Depends on how healthy he is. Jaylen Brown.
John Morant.
John Morant, if he stay out of trouble.
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah.
Donovan. But see, my thing is.
But you know what? If you look, let's look at the all NBA team. I know this is I think this is the 1 year that is kind of like, you think about it, Shai Gilgeous first team, Jokic first team, Giannis first team. Everybody else is All-American. You think about it, you got Anthony Edwards, Evan Mobley make the second team. Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, LeBron makes second. Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum first team. Then third team, you got Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Halliburton, James Harden, Cat, and Jalen Williams.
Okay.
So if you really break it down, I think it would be a really good game. Just for the fact that Americans always think we're the best at basketball, and we're so sick and tired of all these foreigners coming in being, MVPs, that you might get a good game.
And you got to also take into consideration the guys got to be all-stars. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
can't just take a Nimhart and throw him on the team.
Yeah, exactly.
They got to be an all-star. So you can have we can think of Americans all day, but if they're not on the all-star team, one of the guys that can be selected, and you're looking at their world team, you got so many of these guys that are not from here that are selected, it's like, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Because it'd be an interesting question. You want to play for the U.S. team in basketball? Who you playing in? I'm talking about the guy in Sixers who can never stay on the court healthy. Embiid. So what team would he be on?
The bench, because he ain't playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's on team street clothes.
The bench.
Yeah.
What you mean? Team bench.
Him and Kawhi Leonard, team street clothes.
It come down to Adam Silver. They say a healthy Embiid and says, okay, and you do this. What team do you put Embiid on?
First team all bench. What aren't you understanding about this?
No, I'm just saying if he's healthy.
Okay.
Oh, he got to play for the world. He's gonna make a decision because I knew he did want to play for. Was it Team USA in the Olympics?
Yeah.
France.
Was it France?
No, he wanted to. He played for USA in
Right.
the Olympics, and then they said next time around he wanted to play for. Was it France?
Because he's from Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means Siakam becomes a all-star because now he can play for the Congo. And let's see, you got Nimhart becomes an all-star. Who else you got? It's like there's a lot of guys that become all-stars because you got to put 12-man roster. And all these guys who have this in their contract, if they make more money from making an all-star, they don't make it now.
Oh, how did I forget our guy? Trae Young will be an all-star.
Willie?
Well, if you need guys, since don't nobody want to vote him in and put him in,
didn't buy into that too well.
He going if you I'm just naming guys that are
Is he what? What team he playing on?
What you mean, the Hawks?
No, in the All-Star game?
In the All-Star game. Is he from a foreign country? That's the only way he's
No,
going to
Trae
make
Young
it.
from the U.S.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The only way he's going to make it is from a
No,
foreign
because
country.
no, that's not true. He can make the U.S. team. You don't think so?
Give me the top 5 guards in the East right now.
In the East?
Yeah.
Let's see. Guards. Jaylen Brown. Do we consider him a guard or is he a 3?
I don't know.
He a guard.
He a guard.
Cunningham?
You put Cunningham over Trae Young?
Mm-hmm.
With the season he just had?
Yeah, but Trae has been having. All right.
Yeah, well, but Trey's regressed a little. He's had a great.
led the league in assists.
He's had a great year moving the ball.
He led the league in assists. Okay, what? Halliburton?
Mm-hmm.
That's about. I consider that a tie.
Brunson,
I put ahead of him.
That's 5, man.
I put Donovan Mitchell ahead of him.
Donovan, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not, and it's not a knock on Trae. It's just that Trae is in a tough position.
Yeah,
you got to think about it. There's like 4 or 5 guys are ahead of him, and then the fact that people don't like him drops him down even another 2. So he ain't making the All-Star team soon unless he's having a triple double going his next year and just killing everybody.
Man led the league in assists.
And you're right.
If it was anybody else that led the league in assists, they'd be an All-Star.
Because you don't lead the league in assists until the end of the season, so nobody had.
But even at that time of All-Star selection, he still led the league.
But the
in
Hawks weren't a
assists.
very good team, so it's like you can have a great. I'm leading the league in assists, but we can't get a win.
So what?
What do you mean? So what?
There have been plenty of guys whose team wasn't that great because All-Star is an individual event. It is an individual thing. How many times?
Just because, hey, that ain't sexy. Nobody cares about assists. And unless you freaking white.
Unless you white. What?
Unless you're John Stockton.
Unless
you're John Stockton is what he's saying. Yeah.
Oh, so they never cared. So they never cared about Chris Paul.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I was going to say, we're going down that route.
You know, that's how Magic made his mark. I'm just kidding. But no, I don't think he assists nowadays. And you're on a losing team, you got to get some damn rebounds too. He needs to add a triple double because your team sucks. And so
I'm sorry. I think that comes into consideration when you're pulling All-Star votes. If your team can't win, I'm sorry. That's going to affect it. It is. Okay. It is. All right. Let's do Big Shot of the Week. We'll play this week.
His feelings are so hurt.
I know. I'm not. My feelings are hurt. I'm a Hawks fan.
No.
I pulled for the Hawks, man.
No. We're going to promote Trae Young making the All-Star team.
No. It's not even about that. What I'm saying is, my whole point is, I get what you're saying. And I'm not knocking that the Hawks are a very unorganized organization.
Always have.
I'm not knocking that. I see that all the time. I've been there, seen it. My whole thing is, we act like we have not seen guys who've been on bad teams but have played well not make the All-Star team when we know it's an individual event.
Hey, Mitch Richmond did it in Sacramento, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
I know, I get it. I'm just saying. There's a lot of outside factors you got to consider. All right, Big Shot of the Week is going to go to a woman named Kristen Johnson. She's a 40-year-old preschool teacher from right here in Roswell, Georgia, and here is why.
That's up the street.
Yeah, right down the street from us. She happened across a post from former Major League Baseball pitcher Steven Register. Steven Register pitched for the Rockies and the Phillies. He was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. His family got online, said he needs a liver transplant. Was his best chance of survival. And Kristen happened across this and said, I went to high school with this guy. I know him. They went to high school together in Columbus, Georgia. So she, on her own accord, reached out, got a blood test. They were a match, and is set to donate 70% of her liver to this guy to save his life. A guy she hasn't seen in ages.
That's wild.
The surgery is expected to take 12 to 14 hours, but both her remaining liver and the donated portion will regenerate over time, giving both of them a second chance of life. So she did that for a high school friend that she has not talked to in ages and just happened to see it on Facebook.
Talk about a way to reconnect.
Yeah, dude. Big shot of the week to you, young woman. That is wild.
I do have a question, and I know nobody's a doctor here, but I wonder how long are you out of commission when you give up that much of your liver to somebody else?
Good question.
What's the recovery time?
I have no idea. But it says that her liver and the 70% that she donates
Will regenerate. Yeah. I just wonder how long that takes.
How long it takes to be fully 100?
Yeah, for that to regenerate and for you to get back to normalcy.
And then you have to start, you have to live really clean too to make sure it generates the proper thing and vitamins and stuff. Yeah, so yeah.
I wonder.
But think about how big that is. It's a lot of us wouldn't even do that for our family members. You know what I mean?
God.
So that is
again, right? Like just a dude she hasn't seen in 15, 20 years, and it's like, oh yeah.
And then not
We're the same
only
blood type. Let's go.
Going to high school together, but also being a match. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like the match part is
it's rare.
Yeah,
it's very rare. But good, I mean, just dude, that's incredible. Good for her. She's a better person than I am. All right, let's play this game. This week's game. It's called.
I'm excited.
It's called 3-ball. So this is gonna function a little bit like rapid fire. But you guys are gonna go back and forth. So I'm gonna put 60 seconds on the clock. I'm gonna give you a question. I'm gonna give you 3 possible answers. If you don't get it, the other person can jump in and try and get it. Obviously, if they don't get it, nobody's going to get a point because at that point you know the answer. But you've got a
process of elimination.
Process of elimination. Ain't nobody getting a point. So we'll go back and forth in 60 seconds, and we'll see who can put the most points on the board. So we'll start with Rob. We'll go to Harper, and back and forth, and back and forth, and we'll see how we do. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Let's load her up. Robert Horry. Which team has won the most conference championships? Lakers, Celtics, or Heat?
Celtics.
Incorrect. Harper. Lakers or Heat?
Lakers.
Lakers, correct. Brandon Harper, which NBA franchise was the first to accumulate 3,000 regular season losses? The Knicks, the Clippers, or the Kings?
Kings.
Correct. Robert Horry, which player played his entire career with the same franchise? Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, or Hakeem Olajuwon?
Reggie Miller.
Correct. Brandon Harper, which player was drafted number 1 in the 2003 NBA draft? LeBron, Dwayne Wade, or Chris Bosh?
LeBron.
Correct. Robert Horry, which of these franchises never relocated? The Raptors, the Jazz, or the Warriors?
Raptors.
Correct. Brandon Harper, who has the most scoring titles of this group? Kevin Durant, James Harden, or Shaq?
Durant.
Correct. Robert Horry, who... that was a... Harp wins the round just because you missed that opener there. But good job. That was fun.
It's so weird. I went straight for championships. I forgot Lakers have been in the postseason way more than the Celtics.
Yeah. Conference titles,
which is crazy because they got one more title than the Lakers do.
Which is nuts. You got the Raptors are the only team franchise that never really relocated. Sorry, Kevin Durant 4 scoring titles.
Yep, Kevin Durant may go down as the greatest scorer ever.
He'll be in the conversation, that's for sure. And the first NBA franchise to accumulate 3,000 regular season losses.
The
Sacramento Kings.
That was easy.
That's okay. Well, we're going to go again. So Harp took round 1. I think with the amount of questions I got, we could probably get 3 rounds out of this. So we'll see how we do. All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Load it up one more time. We're going to start with Harper this time. Brandon Harper, who holds the record for the most points scored in a single NBA playoff game? Elgin Baylor, Donovan Mitchell, or Michael Jordan?
Jordan.
Correct. Robert Horry, during what decade was the 24-second shot clock introduced? The 50s, the 60s, or the 70s?
70s.
Incorrect. Harper, 50s or 60s?
60s.
Both of you are incorrect. It was the 50s. Brandon Harper, which player won 4 MVPs in 5 years? Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, or Wilt Chamberlain?
I think it was Mike.
Incorrect. Horry, Russell or
Bill
Wilt?
Russell.
It was Bill Russell. Good
Russell.
job. Robert Horry, which player has never won a Defensive Player of the Year award? Tim Duncan, Dennis Rodman, or Kevin Garnett?
Kevin Garnett.
Incorrect. Harper, was it Duncan or Rodman?
It's Duncan.
It is Chris Duncan. Or Tim Duncan.
Chris Duncan, definitely.
Chris Duncan, that's a different player. Harper, what city hosted the first NBA All-Star game back in 1951? New York, Boston, or Los Angeles?
L.A.
That was not correct.
Okay.
Boston.
It was Boston.
Okay.
It was Boston.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who got that round because y'all missed a few.
Let's see, it might be a tie.
Wrong. And then this one was neither of you. And then that one was Harper. And that one was Rob. Yeah, that was a tie.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well,
I got the last one.
You did well after the buzzer, but yeah,
buzzer.
sure. Yeah.
You know when the ball.
Because I didn't get a chance to answer the question during the buzzer.
Guess what? I know you're not used to this, but when the buzzer sounds and the ball is still in your hand, the shot doesn't count. I know you're used to getting the ball up before the buzzer. in real life and in the show.
You know, this is sometimes why I don't like you.
This is the only reason? I could probably give you 5 more. All right, let's go one more round. We'll start with Robin this round. I would like to do that. Thank you. Here we go. All right, Robert Horry. Who holds the record for most career steals? John Stockton, Jason Kidd, or Gary Payton?
Stockton.
Correct. Brandon Harper. Who holds the records for the most rebounds in a single season? Bill Russell, Shaq, or Wilt Chamberlain?
Chamberlain?
It is correct as well. Rob, which of these coaches has the highest career winning percentage? Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, or Pat Riley?
Phil.
It is Phil. Brandon Harper, who was the most recent team added in NBA expansion? The Raptors, the Charlotte Bobcats, or the Vancouver Grizzlies?
The Bobcats?
It was the Bobcats, 2004. Rob, who played the most playoff minutes in his career? Kareem, LeBron, or Bill Russell?
LeBron.
It is LeBron. Harper, what team was the first to win an NBA championship? The Anderson Packers, the Minneapolis Lakers, or the Philadelphia Warriors?
The Warriors?
It was the Warriors.
Boom.
Good job.
That don't count because the buzzer came
No,
went
he
off
got
right
the Warriors
before you
before
said
the buzzer. No, come out to play.
No, mine
Go
counted.
about what you just said.
Let's see. We got Rob.
I think I got all mine.
We got Rob. everybody got him. That's
Oh.
another tie. All right.
Dang.
Well, I'm going to give you
That last one didn't count, man, due to the fact of Harper's rules.
I'm going to give you some toss-ups here. It was out of his hand.
That's
We
the-
reviewed the
that's the
clock. It
flick
was
of
out
the
of his
wrist.
hand. We had
Hey,
we had
that
an
ball
official
was
review.
right there.
Oh, I don't know.
Right
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Look, it was right there.
Yeah, there it was. Right there. Yeah, I got you. Right there. Right on that finger. All right, three questions. We'll go back and forth. We'll see if somebody can pull up the upset here and get the tiebreaker. Robert Horry. Who has the record for the most assists in a single NBA game? Bob Cousy, John Stockton, or Scott Skiles?
Scott Skiles.
It is Scott Skiles.
Yeah, I remember
he had
that.
30 in a game.
Well, I remember seeing.
Brandon Harper.
Okay.
Who has the most blocks in NBA history? Dikembe Mutombo, Hakeem Olajuwon, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Dikembe.
Incorrect.
Dang!
Robert Horry. Is
Dream.
it Dikembe or Dream? It is Dream.
He won.
3,830, and Rob's going to win it. Win it on the tiebreaker.
Did Brandon win? No.
No.